well, and his previous experience includes several years in the insurance industry, producing and negotiating municipal insurance contracts. So the first question that I have for each candidate is that since both of you have served as mayor, what do you consider to be the accomplishments of your time in office? Please name the top 2 or 3 items and explain why they were so important for the village. And I'll let Brian start with this question.
And I apologize, can you repeat everything after accomplishments in office?
Sure. Please name the top 2 or 3 items and explain why they were so important for the village.
Thank you. The top 2 or 3 items accomplished while in office was first, right-siding our village budget. When I took office, we'd had a history of declining fund balance as well as declining reserves. In just short of 2 years, that trend has changed, and there's an uptick. We're not currently where we need to be. However, it's no longer in decline. We are 10% away from where fund balance should be, which is 20 to 25% of appropriated funds. And in the general fund, we are about halfway there. So that is the number 1 accomplishment as far as I'm concerned. The second accomplishment, I believe, is community engagement. In the past, there was lackluster attendance at village board meetings, and that has changed. And engagement can't happen without some form of controversy. Those situations do happen, and it's in my most humble opinion, if you don't have some form of controversy, then you're really not accomplishing something, because you're not going to please everybody. That is never going to occur, and it's delusional to think so. But the best you can hope to do is to do the right thing for the greatest number of people. Third, and this goes back to, and it's inextricably tied to budgetary concerns, we've also had a history in the village of repetitive spending that is not entirely necessary. Several items, as a matter of fact. And
1 minute.
those have been reined in. And I'll leave it at that for the moment.
Okay.
I guess what I consider most important was I was in on the upgrade of the water each time. Put in a new tank over on Mount Pleasant, put 2 new tanks up in the springs. At that time we did put in the chlorination units up there. Before I was mayor, they drove the well, and that wasn't a bad deal. That was an expensive thing, but we managed to finance it, and I guess it's about half paid for. Another accomplishment I thought was I presented a plan for a sewer system 3 times to the people of the village. 3 different plans from 3 different engineering companies. And in between there was another one done, and that was scrapped. Everybody's always in favor of those things, but they can't afford them. And that was what the problem was. We started out about $700 a year to each user of the water. We got it down to maybe 3 something, but people in the village, in between times Bishop Sheehan came in, people got free septic systems put in their places. And I don't blame them. The hydraulics in this village are pretty good. near future presenting another sewer plan, because unless the government will come in and finance it for us and help us a lot. We had, the last one, we had over $2 million in grants, and it still wasn't enough. The other thing that I worked on, and this went back a long ways before I became mayor, but it really served as background for the job, is I was heavily involved in the Grape Festival, the Fishing Derby, and the old home days that we had back in the 60s. I had charge of the parade, I had charge of the carnival, I had charge of the concessions. The village ran the Grape Festival for 10 years.
Time's up.
Hmm?
Time's up.
Just 1 minute. And we made money. All the organizations made money. My idea is to go back to that, modify it a little bit, and maybe we can bring more people. We need more tourists in the town.